morning and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, October 26, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. CHARRANDASS PERSAUD axed by President Ali over obscene outbursts in India. 2 more oil finds take EXXONMOBIL'S total discoveries since 2015 to over 30. NANDLALL ridicules NORTON'S claims of poll showing opposition's victory at LGE. Access to finance in oil and non-oil sectors to be addressed at Business Forum. And Guyana to soon implement biometric systems at airports. Now for the news in detail. Guyana's High Commissioner to India, CHARRANDASS PERSAUD, has been axed by President Dr. Irfan Ali following the circulation of a video showing the diplomat verbally abusing a woman at his official residence in India. Here is our lead story tonight.
In the video, which began to spread like wildfire on social media, High Commissioner CHARRANDASS PERSAUD is heard yelling at a woman at his official residence in India. The incident occurred since August 2021, and according to information received, PERSAUD was investigated by authorities in India and cleared of any allegations of misconduct. The complainant had filed a report that PERSAUD used sexually abusive words towards her.
I don't need a dog in my yard, all right? You want a dog, take it, put it between your legs.
Little bastard?
No, you probably want a dog. That's what you want. I don't care. I don't care who you are.
I don't care who the hell you are.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation on Tuesday issued a statement indicating that it considers the matter closed. But on Wednesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali went live on his social media pages, where he announced that PERSAUD will be recalled in light of his behavior.
Last night, after reviewing the video, I called High Commissioner CHARRANDASS. I explained to Mr. CHARRANDASS that representatives of our country must, on all occasions, on every occasion, conduct themselves in the highest order and regard. Mr. CHARRANDASS agreed with me that in keeping with the best interests of Guyana and the image of Guyana, that he would return home from his posting in India. Mr. CHARRANDASS has agreed that he take full responsibility for his action and will return home from this posting, as I would have said. We are therefore going to take all official steps and measures to ensure a smooth transition and to continue to strengthen our work with India and to work on advancing the cause of Guyana.
He also reiterated that the issue in question was already dealt with by the relevant agencies in India, during which no evidence of misconduct was found. The head of state also noted that the video in circulation does not completely demonstrate what transpired on the day in question. Notwithstanding, President Ali posited that the Guyana government will continue to work to strengthen its relationship with its partners around the world.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government of Guyana will continue to work every day to strengthen our relationship not only with India, but with every other partner across the globe.
PERSAUD is a former Alliance for Change parliamentarian whose yes vote in the National Assembly during the debate on the PPP-sponsored no-confidence motion in December 2018 led to the downfall of the then APNU AFC government.
U.S. oil giant EXXONMOBIL has, since 2015, made over 30 lucrative discoveries in the Stabroek Block, offshore Guyana, a development which the government says will significantly increase its petroleum resources. Find out more in this report.
EXXONMOBIL on Wednesday announced 2 discoveries at the Sailfin 1 and Yarrow 1 wells in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana. This means that EXXONMOBIL has made over 30 discoveries on the block since 2015. The company noted that it has since ramped up offshore development and production at a pace that far exceeds the industry average. President of EXXONMOBIL upstream company Liam Mallon says, and I quote, "Our unrivaled exploration success and accelerated pace of development in Guyana are a testament to our people, decades of experience, technology capabilities, and steadfast focus on optimizing all aspects of operations." End quote. EXXONMOBIL's first 2 sanctioned offshore Guyana projects, Liza Phase 1 and Liza Phase 2, achieved an average of nearly 360,000 barrels of oil per day in the third quarter. A third project, Payara, is expected to start up by the end of 2023, and the fourth project, Yellowtail, is expected to start up in 2025. ExxonMobil is currently pursuing environmental authorization for a fifth project, Yarrow. By the end of the decade, ExxonMobil expects Guyana's oil production capacity to be more than 1 million barrels a day. The Guyana government issued a statement welcoming the announcement, wherein it noted that the Ministry of Natural Resources and its regulatory agencies will continue to build capacity to enhance monitoring and exploration activities. The government also noted that it remains committed to the sustainable exploration and development of Guyana's oil and gas resources in keeping with international best practices for production, compliance, and transparency within the petroleum sector, and to ensure benefits are derived for all Guyanese.
Attorney General NANDLALL has rubbished claims by opposition leader Aubrey Norton that a poll done by the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic has shown that the APNO-AFC opposition would win at the next elections. Vanu Manichand tells us more.
That the last poll showed that the combined APNU-AFC will beat the PPP in the next elections.
And what poll is this?
You can ask them, they know.
I'm asking you. You're the one that's announcing it. So I'm asking you.
I'm saying
You're
to
that
you,
there's a combined poll.
I never said a combined poll. I said there is a poll that showed that the combined APNU-AFC will beat the People's Progressive Party.
That was opposition leader Aubrey Norton during his press conference on Tuesday, making claims about the poll. However, despite being continually pressed by a reporter, he refused to divulge any author details about this alleged poll.
If I tell you my source, the persons in the PPP will be dealt with. It is protecting the people who divulge it that makes it a source of privacy.
Why would somebody carry out a poll and then not want to divulge it, but they specifically just divulge it to the APNU?
Most political parties will do a poll, and based on the poll, they will work out the way forward, etc. And there are times when they wouldn't publish it, and there are times when, in the case of the PPP, they publish it, putting different statistics to what actually occurred.
But Attorney General NANDLALL, who is a central executive member of the ruling PPPC, denied the existence of any such poll and called out Norton for fabricating such a claim.
This obviously is a concoction of his. Obviously. About some poll. I don't know any poll that was done. But I don't know which pollster can come to a conclusion. AFC, APNU at this point in time or any time in the near future is likely to beat the PPP at any elections. It's either that he invents these things or he is so gullible that anyone can concoct a lie, irrespective of how outrageous the lie may sound to an objective listener or bystander. He believes the lie.
Currently, preparations are underway for the hosting of the long overdue local government elections on March 13, 2023. However, there is uncertainty over whether the coalition opposition would participate in the upcoming polls. While the APNU has remained tight-lipped on contesting the LGE, the AFC said it is yet to make a decision. But AG NANDLALL underscored the importance of the local government polls. Local government elections is constitutionally due every 2 years in Guyana, but had been delayed over the past 2 years. At the last LGE held in November 2018, the then PPPC opposition had secured 52 of the 80 local authority areas. This followed the holding of the LGE in 2016, in which the PPPC also claimed the majority of the LAAs. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
The constitutional reform process, which will be spearheaded by the Constitutional Reform Commission once it is set up, will begin early next year and will allow stakeholders to make suggestions on much-needed areas of reform in the Constitution. Details in this Gerald Bryan report.
Making this revelation was Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Minister Gail Teixeira during the start of consultations on electoral reform. Teixeira took care to stress that the consultations on the Representation of the People's Act are separate from constitutional reform consultations that will begin early in 2023. She made reference to the Constitutional Reform Bill, which will create the Constitutional Reform Commission.
That bill of the composition for the Commission for Constitutional Reform, which will be made up equally of members of political parties and civil society, is on the order paper in the National Assembly. We are asking all of you who are participating the constitutional reform issues, which some of the respondents have written about, to please leave those for the constitutional reform process, which will start, as I said, in early 2023.
In response to concerns raised about potential redundancy, Attorney General Anil NANDLALL noted that statutory electoral reform cannot wait on constitutional reforms. He pointed out that the latter is a lengthy process that requires a 2/3 majority to effect changes.
We are passing laws every day. We have an agenda based upon a manifesto of what we have promised to deliver. Among those things all include constitutional reform. But we can't stop the legislative agenda of the country because constitutional reform is impending. That would be a horrible thing to do.
Back in August of this year, the government had presented the Constitutional Reform Commission Bill 2022 in the National Assembly. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Coming up, U.S. Guyana collaborate on national disaster preparedness, and 300 to graduate as pharmacy assistants next year. Do stay with us.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Cheryl, girl, you want me? Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. De Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
We call
American-made Generac pressure washers from Sylvie's Variety Store gives you the power you need to blast away dirt and grime. Providing the perfect cleaning power for any tough jobs around the house or business. From 2,500 to 4,000 PSI. So get the Generac pressure washer today with all the parts and accessories available from Sylvie's Variety Store.
Contractors, let the quality of your road constructions speak for themselves by investing in a walk-behind vibratory roller from Sylvies. Apart from improving productivity, our roller provides better compaction for soil and asphalt. Designed with the ability to turn, this machine also offers great flexibility for precise work near walls and sidewalks. Order it now before it's gone at sylviesonline.com or at our 31 High and Hatfield Street store.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The Guyana Civil Defense Commission and the United States Southern Command, in partnership with the Pacific Disaster Center, a University of Hawaii research center based in the U.S., today facilitated a national disaster preparedness workshop that culminated with a baseline assessment of Guyana's disaster risks and readiness. This partnership augments an already strong bilateral cooperation on disaster response between the two countries and sets the stage for the regional Trade Winds exercise scheduled for July 2023. Using a collaborative, stakeholder-driven approach, CDC's National Disaster Preparedness Baseline Assessment utilizes scientific data and evidence-based practices to integrate the national priorities of Guyana with stakeholders' feedback to effectively reduce disaster risks. The discussion on key risk reduction recommendations and procedures emanating from the baseline assessment will serve to improve Guyana's preparedness and response capabilities in the event of a disaster and aid planning for future climate-driven disaster impacts. These activities are part of continued U.S. support to Guyana in the areas of energy governance, regional security, and enhanced disaster response capabilities. The Business Development Forum will be making its return next month under organization of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The two-day event is scheduled to be held on November 11 and 12 at the Pegasus Corporate Center. Gerald Bryan has the details.
The Business Development Forum, first held in 2018, was halted in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This will therefore be the first time it is being held in 2 years. At a press conference hosted by GCCI President Timothy Tucker on Tuesday, he elaborated on the expectations for this year.
This event has been created, has continued based on the demand and the response of the business community. The GCCI, this event was created from within the chamber, one of the groups or committees within the chamber, and it was a direct response to the need of its members. Unlike other events, this one drives home and of course drives to the point of what we are. I mean, we are doing things not a talk shop, but we are interacting. We are bringing different levels of institutions. We're talking about role models, and we have also surveying and dealing with what is needed by the communities. The feedback that we've gotten, there are many persons that benefit tremendously and have gotten the results of the two previous editions of the Business Development Forum.
Meanwhile, GCCI Executive Director Richard Rambaran explained that the forum will be split into 5 teams, each of which will have a specialist make presentations. The themes that will be explored are access to finance, business opportunities in Guyana's oil and non-oil sectors, improving standards, doing business in Guyana, and marketing fundamentals. He explained what participants can expect from the discussions at the forum.
The country is at a juncture where it requires for us to build a private sector that is of international standards and essentially the internationalization of the private sector. So that becomes extraordinarily important within where we are trying to go. So that is the third thematic area. The fourth thematic area is that of doing business in Guyana. So this is specifically geared to the aspiring entrepreneurs. If I'm an aspiring entrepreneur and I want to understand how to do business in Guyana, what are the key institutions? Where do I go? What do I need to map to be able to get my enterprise off the ground?
Among those who have been invited to make presentations at the forum are the Bankers Association and individual banks. In addition to the 500 delegates expected to attend, GCCI is also catering for approximately 1,000 visitors to the joint exhibition. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
With Canada's reputation as an agriculture powerhouse and with a memorandum of understanding having been signed between Guyana and the Canadian Commercial Corporation earlier this year, there is tremendous scope for collaboration on and investments in agricultural production. Here is Jarrell Bryan again with the details.
This is according to Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana Mark Berman in a recent broadcast interview with Paul Moore. As he put it, Canada has a lot to offer Guyana given the fact that it is one of the world's largest exporters of food produce.
I think agriculture is an area for that is potentially significant growth for this country.
That's right.
Canada is one of the largest agricultural countries in the world. We're the 5th largest exporters of agricultural products. There are 2 million Canadians who work in the agriculture industry. It's about 7% of our workforce, about $139 billion, and we export about just over $80 billion of agricultural products. So we have a lot to offer in that area, and so the president is the lead and the champion within the CARICOM, President Ali, and talks about this 25 by 25, the reduction of food imports by 2025.
Berman also noted that Guyana is one of only a handful of CARICOM countries with agricultural potential, and in light of the MOU signed earlier this year, discussions on opportunities for partnerships between the two countries are ongoing.
And really there are 3 countries within the CARICOM that have the agricultural potential: Suriname, Guyana, and Belize. And so there's real opportunity here. And so that's an area that we're going to focus on to try and encourage both investment and Canadian technology to assist with the growth of the agricultural sector.
Canada and Guyana already share a strong trade relationship, with a North American nation importing Canadian $199.6 million in merchandise from Guyana last year alone. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben has announced that Guyana would soon reach the stage where it becomes mandatory for passengers using airports in the country to be processed by a biometric digital processing policy. Lawana McAllister reports.
The biometric system provides true identification, offering absolute accuracy and zero ambiguity. Its data comprises unique measurements and calculations resulting from specific technical processing of the physical, sociological, or behavioral characteristics of a person. It is used for iris recognition, voice recognition, eye tracking, and fingerprint scans. The biometric initiative will focus on developing standards for the digital processing of passengers at Guyana's airports. This should be able to reduce congestion during passenger screening and will help the airport to gather travel information in advance for better resource planning and real-time data on passengers within the airports. While he did not state how soon this system will be implemented, Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben said that Guyana will soon be among other countries using this system.
We'll get to that point just now where even the iris will be scanned beyond fingerprints.
Currently, Guyana only uses biometrics for voter registration. That fingerprint cross-matching system helps to determine whether duplicate registrations take place. Former President of Guyana David Granger proposed that Guyana's national identification cards include biometric and security features. Lawana McAllister reporting for the Evening News.
The Health Services of Region 6 on Saturday launched a Pharmacy Assistant Training Program from which 300 persons would graduate next year. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael tells us more.
Previously, the Pharmacy Assistant Training Program was done in Georgetown, and small batches were selected from each region to be trained in the city of Georgetown. However, the Ministry of Health made a major change, allowing persons to be trained and stationed within their home regions. Of the 300 expected to graduate next year, 40 are being trained in Region 6. Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, advisor to the Health Minister, says after being fully trained, these persons are expected to boost the services offered by regional pharmacies. Currently, there are only 16 such assistants in Region 6.
Our number one service to our people would be our generosity and our kindness and our graciousness. So today, you join a special group of people. You start your journey. And that journey hopefully will see us 9 months from now being in one of our clinics serving our people. Minister, there are people here from Baracara, there are people here from Siparuta, Oriala. No health center, no health facility in our country will be left behind.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony also urged the trainees to use this opportunity to think of how they can further advance themselves.
We don't want anybody come into the health sector and get stuck at one level, right? We want you to start mapping a career pathway in health so that you can get right up to the very top. And there will be many, many opportunities to do so. So consider this as a stepping stone to many other things that can happen.
According to the Health Minister, with government's massive development plans for the health sector, more and more human resources will be needed.
We have started the construction of 7 new hospitals. One of those new hospitals are going to be here in Berbice at Skeldon. Right? That's going to be a 75 inpatient bed hospital with 3 theaters, 2 main theater and 1 minor theater. We have a whole high-tech imaging suite. We'll have modern laboratories there. We'll have a whole set of people to do inpatient services. And of course, we'll need to do outpatient services as well. So if we are expanding the health sector in this way, we need to have people who are going to work there.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
There will be no closures to the Demerara Harbour Bridge on Thursday, October 27, 2022. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed on Thursday, October 27, 2022 at 5 hours 15 for a period of 1.5 hours.
CWI considering separate coaches following Simmons' resignation, and Shepherd dominates Guyana Harpy Eagles practice match. Details of these stories and more in this podcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Cheryl, girl, you want me? Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. De Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers, and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
Superbet com certeza a sua melhor escolha. Com mais de 200 jogos online com Superbet, você aposta é para ganhar. Cadastre-se hoje, tá esperando o quê? Basta acessar o www.superbet.gy. Clicar em registrar e você já está apto a participar. Lembrando que o Superbet não é recomendado para menores de 18 anos.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Welcome back to this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp. After an unforgettable T20 World Cup